thank you for letting me work with Bella. She was very, very reactive to skateboards and rollerblades and all stuff. So I came up with a behavior plan, because what she would do is she would see a rollerblade, she'd see a skateboard, or she'd hear them, and then she'd just start crying and barking. So first thing is we did some management stuff, avoiding walks during commute times, sticking to dirt paths where skateboards and rollerblades aren't going to be, just so she doesn't get into the habit of that. And the biggest one is try to avoid Golden Gate Park on a very busy weekend where all the skateboarders, and we had the baby gates put up in the front of the house so she couldn't bark at the rollerbladers and skateboards going in front. So there's lots of really good management happening there. So first thing I did is I worked with her on basic loose leash walking stuff, sit, stay, touch, focusing on me work while we were inside, and then while we were outside, just doing our walk things, so that while she's outside, she's used to focusing on me. And basic click treat, trigger looks. So anytime she would look at me, I'd click, I'd treat, we'd go on when she'd see something that would be slightly triggering. So then I got a pair of rollerblades and I showed them to her, doing
just without anything.
Without anything, just so she sees what rollerblades are. I take a rollerblade, show it to her, give her treats while the rollerblade was around, take the rollerblade away, the treats stop, and giving her a conditioned emotional response. While I was doing that, well, not at the exact same time, but during the same interval period of time, I was also finding recordings of the sounds of skateboards and rollerblades, playing them for her, and as they were playing, I was giving her treats so that she could associate the sounds with something.
Okay.
She did cry the first time. When I
Not
found
unexpected.
not unexpected when I played the rollerblade, although she was very interested in the treats, or the skateboard, while she was very interested in the treats, she did cry a bit, and now she's just sound of rollerblade, sound of skateboard, treat time. So then I'd be taking her for walks, and we'd see rollerbladers at a distance. I went onto some more paved paths, and every time she saw one, look back at me, click treat. And we did this, just sort of walking around, trying to...
In Golden Gate Park?
In Golden Gate Park, but on very not busy days. So there weren't a million rollerbladers out there. It was, we'd be lucky if we saw 2 at a different time.
Not the weekends.
Not the weekends, no. This was weekdays, like in the middle of the day, where maybe you'd find a skateboarder.
Okay.
So that's what we used, and we used evasive action anytime it started to get a little too much, or if they were lingering with like, okay, we're just gonna go over this way, but eventually it just got to be a click treat, and as soon as a rollerblader or skateboarder got close, she just looked to me and asked for a treat. And then we started getting closer and closer with it. So instead of me click treat and then we go the other way to get away from the rollerblader or the skateboard, we just kept walking a little closer and then went away. And eventually we could just go past them, which was really nice, but that took some time. And then got a friend to rollerblade around at a closer distance and did the click treat again, and it worked out really, really well. And so and all this is very much one at a time. She gets used to one thing but she's been very receptive to it. Now she's still a little prone to some trigger stacking when there's a lot of skateboards happening at the same time and a lot of rollerblades happening at the same time. But her reactivity is almost nothing with an individual rollerblader at this point, which is really nice.
A long way from where she started.
Which is really nice with me. So what I've been doing when I've been saying click treat is I've been using a clicker like this. So every time she looks at you, you do a click and you hand her a treat. So just making sure that you got that working on, and we'll demonstrate that in a little bit. And then we're going to go for a little hunt in Golden Gate Park to see
How she does.
how she does. But yeah, first I'm gonna show you how she's like with an individual rollerblader, and we started at like an entire block away, and have gotten it to almost right up close to her with motion and with some talking and all that stuff. You know, these are people. So, do you have any questions about how this is working and all that stuff?
So my only question is, if I see the rollerblader or the skateboard before she does, should I be...
You should definitely be prepped with the treat.
So be prepped with the treat, but do I only click when she looks at me after she's seen the rollerblader, or do I click to make her look at me and give her a treat?
The click is when she's seen the rollerblader. She may not necessarily look back at you, although that would be very good. You may need to work up to her doing this because she's done it with me,
right,
a lot. But the click means that the treat is coming, is what it is. So she saw it, the click happens, she gets a treat.
Okay. So the question, I think, is, do you click when she sees the rollerblader,
yes,
so that triggers her to look at us, or do you click after she sees the rollerblader, then looks at me for the treat, and then I give her the treat?
At first, it's going to be just to click for the rollerblader or skateboard.
Uh-huh.
Then, when she gets more used to the concept, which may happen as fast or as slow, again, right now with me, she'll look at me,
right,
before I give her the...
So she's associating the click with the fact that she's going to get a treat, so it's better to get a treat than to react to the rollerblader.
Exactly.
Got it. Okay, I understand.
So you start off with, she sees the rollerblader, click, and then she can look in the treat. Eventually, when she gets used to you being the one doing this, which shouldn't take very long, then she sees a rollerblader, she looks at you, click, treat.
Got it. Okay.
So we just start off at her pace and go from there.
Perfect.
Because again, I've been working with her, and so she'll look to me for stuff, and now we just have to get her to start looking at you.
By doing what you did.
By doing what I did.
Got it. Okay.
But she's gotten so much better. I haven't heard her cry
Excellent.
at the mere sound of a skateboard in like a week.
Fantastic.
Which is something.
Let's hope it stays.
Let's hope it's all about consistency.
That's it. Got it. Great. Well, thank you.
Thank you very much. Alright, so she's gonna see the rollerblader. And as you can see, every time she looks back at me from the rollerblader, she gets a click and a treat. Alright, so now I'm going to hand over the clicker and Bella to you. And every time she looks back at you, you want to click and then treat. Alright, gotta be a little faster with the click.
Making me distraction noises and everything.
Keep going. Thank you very much. There we go. That's it.
I feel like I should make noises. Like kids.
You could.
Okay. Woo, let's go! Yeah! Woo, watch me! Come on!
There we go. Click and
Woo!
treat.
That was the ball! Work it, work it, work it! Yes!
See, and she's totally into you now. She's not even paying attention to Diana. Oh, there, that was a good time to click and treat. She glanced over.
I was busy watching Diana.
I'm trying to
Well, that's part of it. Is you gotta,
and I'm a professional roller.
you gotta be watching her, as in Bella. Click. There we go. Now
That
get-
was a clicker malfunction.
But yeah, you just need to, every time she looks back at you for the treat, rather than looking at Diana.
So does it matter if, like, she could see the treat bag?
It would help if, you know, she just assumes that the treats are coming and having a treat bag there can help that sometimes, but, you know, it's not as important. When she gets more used to the treats just being a thing, then you can have the treat bag more hidden. And
She's doing really good.
she's doing
She's
really
doing
well.
too good. Come
So
on.
we can come a little closer and click and treat her, Mom, because she's paying attention to you
Yeah!
and not paying attention to the rollerblader in motion.
Go Astro!
Click and treat. Yeah, and so just a little practice of click and treat. She's looking at you. So you just need to be looking at her. And when she looks like right there, there we go. And click and treat. There are no triggers around right now, but we just want her to get used to the idea of she looks at you, she click. There we go. All right, now we'll just go. In essence, we're on our walk. She's doing really well. She used to pull a lot, and now she's just, so the loose leash walking's doing good stuff too. There we go. Oh, she's checking back on you. Go to a place where there are rollerbladers, but there are very few right now, so we're gonna try some trigger looks as we walk along. All right, you ready?
Ready?
All right, let's go. Really into the treats. And we can just, oh, she's got to pee. There we go, click treat. Because she's actively looking at you instead of looking at them. There we go, very good. Click treat. All right, now we're just gonna want to click treat. Click treat. And we're going away. That was very quick treat.
Sorry, I wasn't ready with the treats fast enough.
All right, you just need to work on your mechanics of really just making sure that she gets those treats. But that's very, very good. That was a lot. I mean, I know on Sundays there can be so many more rollerbladers, which is why we're doing it today when there were like 1 or 2.
Okay.
And now it's there we go. Good. That's much better timing. There we go. The click always means a treat's coming. So you're rewarding her for the behavior that you want, which is looking at you while on a walk. And you know, before you'd go past there and she would be barking her head off. So it's a lot of progress. I still wouldn't recommend coming out on Sundays just yet. Maybe work up to that a little bit, but she's done a lot, and she's done a lot.